Welcome in, everyone, to another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin. Going to be doing this show solo this time around, as Jimmy and DK are busy, and we're doing a little bit off schedule, and that's more my fault than theirs. But let me know if the only problem with doing this without any backup is I don't know necessarily if we have any technical issues. So if you guys notice something that needs adjusting, please let me know in the chat so I can get that fixed. But welcome in to a live game preview to get you guys all set and prepared for the Week 10 matchup between the Battle of Purples. Oh, and I'm seeing DK entering, and it makes me so happy in the background. Oh, my goodness. Let me tell you, I just got done saying, DK, that if things go wrong, I'm not going to really know. So thank goodness. Okay, so no, I did. That boy got his. Yes, I did. Turns out updates are needed for your computer. It's pretty important. So got to do them. Do your updates, fellas. What's going on, Hadari? What's going on? Oh, V Bright in the building. The legend that is V Bright. King Blaze, appreciate you. Zeke, thanks for coming out. Jake, yes, thank you. Appreciate you. Book of Eli, board certified DJ. Thank you all for joining me. Appreciate you. James C, thank you for joining me as well. But look, big Week 10 matchup between the two purple teams. Both coming off big wins for different reasons for their teams. So, man, what a big matchup. Hopefully, like I said, we can get through this episode without any terrible technical glitches. I'll certainly do my best to, but I do have quite a few windows open. So we'll see how this thing goes. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of this one because we don't need this window. Let's get rid of that one. And oh, no. Okay. All right. Am I frozen? Can you hear me, DK? Okay. There we go. Okay. I think it's adjusting. Okay. There we go. This computer gives me problems. Well, DK, if you want to help me out and get the injury report that way, because I feel like if I share my screen, it's going to be a problem. I found it on, I think Cordell had it yesterday. So appreciate it if you have it. That would certainly help me out. All right. So let's get right into it. Now, the good thing is we always start with a commonplace, and that is who's playing, who's not playing, what's the injury report looking like. And I got to say, I don't know if I ever remember, since we started doing this show in, I think, 2019, I don't think I remember a time where the injury report looked like it does for this week. I mean, look at this. I mean, what can you get any better than that injury report right there, where it basically should not even exist? As of yesterday, there was no injury report. It was completely blank. They didn't even have a player listed with even a nagging injury. Today, little bit worse, but I mean, as you can see, nothing to be concerned with. Marlon Humphrey has a finger issue, but he was able to practice fully. Ronnie Stanley getting a rest day, but no actual injury designation for him. On the other side of things, they do have a little bit more concern. Certainly, they're going to be without Jeff Okudah, their cornerback, who's a former top 5 pick of the Detroit Lions, who came over there after what I would say is a underperforming for a top 5 cornerback, but he has a concussion. He's not able to suit up this week. And Josh Oliver, I think that's a pretty decent loss for them. Any longtime Ravens fans know Josh Oliver. He was a quality player for us, and he's a quality player for them. They like to run a lot of 2 tight end sets, and Josh was a big part of that. Him and Hawkinson were a really good tandem of a really good duo of tight ends, and they're going to miss him. Not, doesn't get the attention and isn't the star that is TJ Hawkinson, but certainly a quality player that can block and catch footballs and move the chains. So that's a big loss. Christian Darrisaw, it's kind of what you expect with him coming off of a major knee injury last season. He's going to have days where he's in and out of practice, but it looks like he's ready to go. Got in a full participation today as well as Wednesday, while sat on Thursday to, again, kind of nurse that knee injury that most say he was ahead of schedule returning from anyway. So, I don't see anyone else on here that's really at risk. I mean, Aaron Jones has kind of been beat up all year, and I think that's kind of why he doesn't look like the Aaron Jones we saw in Green Bay, but he's still a good player. He can catch passes out of the backfield. It's somebody you gotta worry about, and we're going to get into. He's got a pretty good running mate as well, not just 2 good tight ends, but two good running backs in the backfield behind a young rookie JJ McCarthy. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun matchup, an interesting matchup, and I'm excited to get more into what we're going to be seeing from these guys. So I'm going to jump right into start and talk about what I saw from their offense. Now, you guys know me, I'm old school. I got handwritten notes. Okay. So you might see me looking to my right often. That's just handwritten. You know, this is a quick little sneak peek here. As you can see, I do a lot of handwritten notes. I'm not much of a typer, even though I should be. I'm kind of the age that should have been right in the wheelhouse there, but I'm more of a handwritten guy. But let's see here. We got some chatter here. Yeah, John, let Ronnie rest. Yeah, you ain't lying. Ronnie needs all the rest he can get because he's not going to have any rest coming this Sunday with this front that he's going to be facing. Massey says, Glenn, what's the realistic outlook rest of the season since no moves or trades? Why can't Ravens be F them picks for once? Yeah, Ravens did it 4 years back, and now looking back, back to best again into the Super Bowl. Don't have to suck. Yeah, I mean, look, I wish the Ravens would have been more aggressive. I'm not saying compete with the Cowboys for Quinnen Williams and give up all that. I'm not saying go get Sauce and give up 2 1s and pay, No, I was just hoping that they would be more aggressive with fortifying some obvious weaknesses on this team, particularly the guard position on the offense and then the defensive line on the defense. That's what I was hoping for. They did something. They got Draymond Jones, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and I do think he'll be a welcome addition to the team. But again, I wasn't expecting them to go out and get, to trade away 1s or 2s, but it would have been nice to maybe fortify some of the other obvious weaknesses on the team, particularly the defensive line, because I do feel like we're one injury away from being in real trouble on the defensive line, specifically in the interior. So, but this is the team that we're rolling out there, unless there's some, waiver claims or some depth guys. There's not going to be any major additions to this team, and that's okay. That's okay, at least when it comes to the division. I still think that they're the best team in the division and have the most realistic chance to make the playoffs and get a home field advantage through, or get a home field game in the playoffs through winning the AFC North. I think that's still very much so in their sights. And but it starts with this game. Got to go out and beat the Minnesota Vikings and take them down, and we'll kind of take it from there and see what the Ravens can get done later down. Particularly last 5 of 8 are in the division, so got to perform well there. But these next 3 games, very winnable, going to be favored probably in every game the rest of the season, but certainly in these next 3. So let's get right into what we have to contend with when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to put up on the screen here last week's performance, because I think, a lot of, I had their stats up and their rankings, and a lot of that can be incredibly skewed because, like the Ravens, the Vikings suffered a lot of injuries at key players on both sides of the ball. They just got back their quarterback and JJ McCarthy after missing a few games. He's only, I believe, played in only 3 of their games. This will be his 4th start in the NFL. So they still, yeah, exactly. Surf City says JJ. That is all. No, they do got some players. Let's not sleep on them. Now, I do think that they're, not the most talented team we're going to see all year, but they're certainly a good enough team that the Ravens have to respect what they're trotting out there. And then it's also gives us an opportunity to see what the Lions didn't do well, and I guess did do well, even though they lost the football game in a surprising loss. The Lions were heavy favorites last week at home against the Vikings, and the Vikings came in there and pulled the upset. And let's not forget that the Ravens had quite a tough time playing the Lions earlier in the season. So this team just beat the Lions on the road. Got to give them a little bit of respect there. They're a quality team. So, all right, here we go. So on the left side of the screen there, we'll start with their offense. We have JJ McCarthy. Again, he's going to be making his 4th start this Sunday. Last week, it was his first game back after some injuries. If you guys remember, Carson Wentz was holding down the starting spot for quite some time. And last time I remember seeing him, he was literally crying on the sideline. So not exactly his best moment, but maybe not even his worst if you think about his tenure after the injury in Philadelphia, what's kind of happened in his career. But JJ McCarthy, 14 of 25, 143, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, was sacked 5 times. Okay. 5 times by a Lions team that didn't blitz a ton. Now, they do have Aiden Hutchinson. And so there's a pretty big difference maker right there. And they got some other good pieces there as well. But 5 times he was sacked, which I think that's a big part of this game. It's not just this game. In three games that he's played, I believe he was sacked 13 or 14 times this season. So he's certainly a guy susceptible to hold the ball. And it makes sense. He's a rookie. He's going to be seeing things he's never seen before virtually every week of his rookie season. And his rookie season's already been stunted by injury. So I do expect him to be confused at time by coverage, hopefully by Zach Orr, and that will cause him to hold the ball longer and hopefully allow our pass rush to get there. Now, again, we went over this pass rush group. The Ravens pass rush was dead last in pressures since the Oweh trade. That's not where you want to be, So hopefully Draymond Jones will not only make a difference in himself being there, but also allow other guys to play better, get moved around, and kind of help, kind of emphasize complement the rest of the team. So not only are we getting a new player, but he's also complementing the rest of the team. And don't forget Carl Lawson. He's a new addition as well. Let's see. Let's just see what the new additions can bring. I'm really hopeful that Draymond can make a difference here. Let's see. We also have Minnesota's running backs. Aaron Jones, like I mentioned, banged up all year. Hasn't quite looked like himself since he's left Green Bay. But 9 carries for 78 yards is nothing to sneeze at. Had a long of 31 yards, and he's backed up by a really good backup. 10 carries, 36 yards from Jordan Mason. I think Jordan Mason's a heck of a player. I think most people remember him in his Niner days when he was backing up Christian McCaffrey. And I think he's a pretty solid backup running back. He'll get the job done, and he's nothing to sneeze at. Now, the Ravens, while have improved in their run defense, if anyone remembers the first half of that Dolphins game, Achane wasn't necessarily struggling to find open holes. I think Achane was set to have a good game if they didn't have those kind of self-inflicted wounds, and then game script took him out of the run game near the end in the second half. But I thought Achane was gouging us, to be honest. So I'm not so sure that the Ravens have sealed it up completely, and that's part of the reason why Ravens fans wanted them to address the D-line at the trade deadline. They ultimately did not, but let's hope that the strides they have made, because they have made strides, I don't think that's undoubtable. Let's hope that that's enough to slow down this rush attack, because if you can't stop their run game, it's just like every team, right? But this team certainly is going to rely on it with a rookie quarterback. They have to have a strong run attack. And look, Aaron Jones is a pass catcher too. I mean, you see down here, he had 2 catches for 20 yards last week. That guy is going to be, somebody who they're going to try and dump the ball to, get him in space, and hope he can make some guys miss tackles. We got to tackle well in this game. No doubt about it. They can't allow guys to take a short pass and turn it into a chunk play. Cannot do it. Absolutely cannot do it. We need to see good tackling. Roquan has really been playing well since returning from the injury. We need him to continue to do so. I think Teddy Buchanan's got to continue to mature, continue to grow, as John Harbaugh said, continue not to make the same mistake twice. It's part of the reason why they say he's gotten so much better, is that he typically doesn't continue to make the same repetitive mistakes and corrects them as he goes. But it's going to be a big one, this one. He's got to play well. And, of course, Kyle Hamilton continuing to allow him to be the demon that he is by the line of scrimmage will certainly help kind of bottle up that quick pass attack and run attack that they're going to be going for. Okay, Surf City says Zay's going to have his best game. I hope you're right. We're going to get into that side of things here shortly. And then you can see on the receiving, it's pretty simple that they have the best wide receiver. Arguably, I guess you could say, but I think he's the best wide receiver in football. And Justin Jefferson last week had 6 catches for 47 yards on 9 targets. As you can see on the screen there, nobody else had more than 4. So he's definitely a guy they want to get the ball to and want to do it often. Now, I wouldn't say he's a deep threat. He can, but not necessarily a burner, more of a route running specialist. But he can, but I wouldn't say that's the biggest part of his game. They're going to get him the ball in a variety of ways at the line of scrimmage. He's certainly a chain mover. They're gonna give him his fair share of targets, and I think that's where, at least on the defensive side of things, is my kind of matchup, the key matchup I'm looking for. We've been seeing all season that Nate Wiggins has been accepting the challenge. And in fact, he's been demanding the challenge of shadowing and kind of trying to erase the number one receiver on the opposite side of the ball. So I am really, really excited to see what Nate Wiggins can do matched up against Justin Jefferson, who, again, I think is the best receiver in football. So let's see what you got, Nate, right? Like, you're not going to have a bigger challenge than Justin Jefferson. And let's be honest, if he catches it, he's going to let you know he caught it. He's going to probably dance on you. And it might even very well be a highlight you're going to have to watch again on ESPN later that night. So big challenge for Nate Wiggins, but boy, am I excited about it. I want to see what Nate can do against Justin freaking Jefferson. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. And then Jordan Addison, great compliment. Another really, really good receiver. I expect Marlon to certainly be tasked with a lot of his covering duties. And Jordan Addison's a good player. I mean, he can get down the field. He's a good route runner. You can see there he had a long of 31 yards just last week on 4 targets, had 2 catches, 48 yards. And then Jalen Naylor, another guy, he's a quality player too. They'll throw him the ball down the field, that's for sure. He had 1 catch, just 16 yards and only 4 targets, but not a bad player at all. So they got a pretty good 1-2-3 punch at wide receiver. And then quickly after that, I mean, you got TJ Hawkinson. Everybody remembers him. I'm sure you guys know the name. He had a touchdown last week on 2 catches for 11 yards. And again, he's not going to be with his running mate, Josh Oliver, which I do think is a loss for them because they like to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. But TJ can move the chains, no doubt about it. He had an impressive touchdown last week. So watch out for TJ in coverage. You got to certainly respect him and what he's going to bring. And then Jordan Mason pitched in with 1 catch for just 1 yard. But again, both those pass catching backs can get it done. So kind of watch them. And as far as their offensive line, Darrisaw is obviously the star on that line. And then behind or after him, I think their right tackle is pretty solid. It's interesting. Like their center, I believe this is his first year playing center, and he's surprising people. I don't think this is the greatest offensive line. But they got I think their left tackle is one of the best, albeit coming off of a major injury, like major, tore everything in his knee last year. So, he's not 100% Darrisaw, but he's a really good left tackle. But I do think that they are susceptible, and I hope to goodness that we can take advantage of the right side. I do think there's some opportunities there. On the right side of that offensive line to get to the passer. And I think they're going to have to. You cannot allow J.J. McCarthy to sit back and get comfortable. It just, if you can't rattle a rookie quarterback making his 4th start, then, man, that's a really it's going to be a doom and gloom feeling in Baltimore when you think about if they can't rattle a J.J. McCarthy making his 4th career start behind an offensive line that isn't the best. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's certainly not the best. Then that kind of says something about going forward of what you're going to have to deal with in the playoffs if you're fortunate enough to get there. But again, if you allow if you allow JJ McCarthy to sit back there and be comfortable, he can make plays, he can make throws, he's athletic. Obviously, like most rookie quarterbacks, he can run. Most guys can move a little bit when they first get in the league, and he's no different. He can move. It's funny. I saw a clip. He'll sometimes be a little too aggressive when he's running the ball and looks to kind of make some contact, even though Kevin O'Connell's not a big fan of that. That's for sure. But then also led by, like I just mentioned, Kevin O'Connell is a good play caller, good play designer, and can find ways to get, guys in favorable matchups and make guys, make guys pay if you make mistakes. So this is an offense that will challenge the Ravens defense, no doubt about it. But again, I'm excited to see what does Malachi do after a big game last week, creating a turnover. How does he kind of keep stacking and keep making obvious plays? Because I think the first few weeks of the season, it was like so careful, so afraid of making a mistake that we didn't really see any plays being made. So hopefully him, Gilman, and Hamilton continue to be that trio of safeties that are just wreaking havoc ever since Gilman's gotten here. I do think and expect them to be really good. We'll kind of see what it looks like in this secondary after trading Jair, who wasn't playing, but now I do think it puts a little bit more pressure on those ahead of him, just by the virtue of the fact that he's not there. So it's not like they can go to him if they're starting to play poorly. But again, he wasn't playing anyway. But I'm just saying, I do think it does put a little bit more pressure on him. Don C, shout out to the legend that is Don C. 5 gifted memberships. Make sure you guys check that out. See if you're one of the lucky members. I just see we got a couple we got a prime. Oh, that's good. Oh, I already put some up. Check the banners, DK. I already made some. I just didn't do a doc. I just made banners. But if you want to tweak them, that's up to you too. I thought those were interesting. But yeah, let me see here if I have any other notes. I don't see anything else. So yeah, again, got to tackle well, got to bother the quarterback. And then Justin Jefferson, got to watch out for that guy, right? That guy is an absolute terror. And then let's get into the defensive side of things. Let's see here. Put this down. Okay. Wow. Blake Cashman absolutely went crazy last week, right? 14 total tackles. Shout out to him. Byron Murphy didn't have the best game, but he's a quality cornerback. But as far as their defense, let me just see. Man, I had their depth chart pulled up, but I was too scared it was going to freeze my computer, so I had to take it down. But I would say their defensive line is a pretty good complement of a mix of players, right? Like they got 3 big monsters, I should say, who absolutely wreak havoc and have me scared to death when I think about our guard play this season. Javon Hargrave is right there front and center. He had a sack last week. He is absolutely massive, and he can use his mass to move bodies, particularly undersized bodies in front of him. I am worried about even Linderbaum. I mean, Linderbaum's a smaller center, albeit much more talented than our 2 guards that are bookending him, but still a smaller guy who's susceptible to bull rushes and more powerful players. So that guy is a problem. Let's see here. We got Jalen Redmond, also a talented player. He had a sack last week. Again, I mean, another big guy who can really wreak havoc from the interior. And the guards, the interior guys, got to be aware of Jalen Redmond, and of course, Jonathan Allen. Everybody knows Jonathan Allen. He's a hell of a player. Started his career with the Commanders. Another big but athletic, talented player. Those 3 guys are big, and then they complement those guys with a bunch of faster, kind of twitchier guys. Let's see. Eric Wilson, I believe, is their tackle leader. Going off the top of my head here, folks. Jonathan Greenard, another really good player who I believe, man, I wish I had this. Oh, actually, I think I wrote that down. Greenard, 10 tackles for loss. Think about their front 7. A ridiculous amount of TFLs all over the place. Just look on the screen here. 1 by Cashman, 2 by Hargrove, 3 by Eric Wilson, 1 by Greener, 1 by Redmond, 1 by Van Ginkel, who just came back, who, by the way, is just a glue guy, just a hustle guy, a good football player. You guys probably remember him from Detroit. He's got the hair hanging out the back. He's a hell of a player. Even Levi Drake Rodriguez has a bunch of TFLs. These guys get to the backfield early and often, and they certainly help their secondary by doing so. Like they are, look, we know what Brian Flores is going to bring. We've seen it when he was in Miami, what he did to the Ravens as far as the aggressiveness in which he coaches. We saw the blitzing. I think that might have been the first team that started that 0 blitz trend that was really wreaking havoc for the Ravens for years. Certainly in the playoffs, was absolutely crushing the Ravens for years. So, nothing's changed. He's incredibly aggressive. Tons of stunts and twists. They run blitz like absolute madmen. And that's how they get so many tackles for loss. And that's what really has me most concerned about this game is their aggressive nature complemented by talented players up front where they have a good mix, again, of big guys, big powerful guys, and smaller quick guys. They use them well. They use them on stunts and exotic blitzes, both run and pass blitzes. Like they will bring the freaking noise. Like that's where the game will be won and lost, in my opinion. If the Ravens can keep Lamar Jackson upright and comfortable, and as well as open holes for Derrick Henry, then I think this has an opportunity of being a long, long day for the Minnesota Vikings. However, if the offensive line can't do those things, if they get if they get confused by the stunts that they're going to be bringing, if they're getting, I mean, if we see Lele and Voorhees on their face or on their ass, like we have seen many, many times this season, then it could be a long, long afternoon. Like I don't think if Lamar Jackson is sacked a handful of times that it's going to be a good game for the Ravens. I think they have to protect him. They have to establish the run. Derrick Henry has to have a big game. No doubt about it. I mean, we always want Derrick Henry to have a big game, but I think with the aggressive nature of this defense, if you get behind the chains, if we're not able to run the ball well and forced into 3rd and long, man, Lamar Jackson have a long, long day. Long day of looking for the pass rush instead of looking down the field. Now, what that means for the Ravens pass catchers is there's an opportunity out there because they're going to be bringing the noise and they're going to be leaving a lot of their guys in single coverage on the back end. And they're not the greatest secondary, right? Like they have some okay players, Okudah and Brian Murphy Jr. And of course the ageless wonder and Harrison Smith, who I think is my age and he's playing football in the NFL still. But they're not the best on the back end, but more so they hang them out to dry in a lot of ways because of the aggression. And if it works, then it pays off. But if you don't get home, then again, you're leaving guys out on islands and they can oftentimes get picked apart. So I think that's where the game is won and lost offensively, is going to be in the trenches. And that, is typically going to be the case. But this isn't a team who gets their hands on the ball a lot. They have 3 total interceptions. So it's not like a team that'll turn you over a ton like we've seen against the Bears, for instance, who relied a lot on getting turnovers. This isn't that type of defense. This defense only has 3 total picks, one of which came last week against J.J. McCarthy. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to try and get after your quarterback's ass. They're going to try and sack him, and they're going to try and tackle your running back for loss and force you into long third downs, and that's how they get you off the field, not necessarily by forcing turnovers. So this is a game where I'm interested to see the running back rotation, because last couple weeks we've been seeing a lot more of Keaton Mitchell and less of Justice Hill. I'm wondering with the pass block that I think will be necessary if we see more of Justice Hill this week. But I'm hoping we still see some Keaton Mitchell, because I just think his speed to get to the edge will be super valuable in a game like this. Because, again, they're going to load the box and they're going to send guys at you. If you can get around the corner, there's not going to be a whole ton of 2nd and 3rd level defenders left, because they're going to be coming at you. Doomgoy says, shout out to Doomgoy. Member for 9 months. I mean, can we just shout out to your boy? He said, have to know whether it's blackmail or sheer hubris that 77 and 72 are still starting. Seem to have this always preparing for next year thing. Not now. I mean, look, there's some frustration on my end as well when it comes to a lot of this stuff, but we know Ben Cleveland ain't getting a shot. We know that Corey, Bullock isn't getting a shot for whatever reason. I don't understand it, to be honest. Like, especially Bullock. Like, we could maybe go, oh, well, maybe Cleveland said something or did something, because he's been in the doghouse for years. But Bullock seemed to be the darling of the preseason, and yet we haven't seen him get much of a look. Now, the coaches, of course, get a lot more look at these guys. They see them far more often than we do, and that's all I can really say, is that maybe they're seeing something that we're not. But, man, am I tired of seeing clip after clip of Voorhees and Falele sitting on their face or on their ass, like, instantly. And almost times where it's not even forced. It's just they just dive right into the dirt right out of their stance. It's like he's like, all right, time to be a speed bump, and he just falls over like he's in the middle of the street. Quan says, this is Henry's chance to go for 200. Brian loves to load the box. Absolutely. If Henry gets to the 2nd level, it's over. Absolutely. I just mentioned that. Delayed screens with Keaton would be loved. Tez Walker should be used a lot, in my opinion. Oh, I would love to see Tez going down the field, because you're right. They're going to put guys on islands. If Tez can get off the line, see ya. Like, see you later trying to keep up with that guy in a full sprint. So, yeah, I do think there's an opportunity for Tez to hurt him with a deep shot. And I would love to see us dump it over their head, even if it's not a screen to Keaton, even if it's just you dump it right over the blitzers' heads, get that guy in space, and let him run with the football. I agree. I think Quan makes a bunch of really good points here. I do think he has an opportunity because of I do think Henry has an opportunity because of Brian Flores' aggression. But we've also seen that aggression where you hit Henry early and he can't get himself moving, and that really works against him. So it's kind of boom or bust in a lot of ways when it comes to their run blitzing. Either they're going to get to him and get him behind the line, or they're going to not get to him. And then, like you said, there's not a whole lot of second and third level defenders to slow him down. And we know how corners and safeties do not want to see a full stride Derrick Henry. They just don't, because it's more likely they're going to get injured when they hit him than Henry would get injured. So it is it's a boomer bust style of defense. And when it goes well, it goes really well. But when it doesn't, you can hang 40 on them. And I think the Ravens have an opportunity to either hang 40, or it could be one of those bad games for the Ravens offense. But as far as on the outside, I expect Zay Flowers to continue to play well when Lamar Jackson's at quarterback. Again, they're going to have opportunities to make plays against single coverage. And let's see Zay. I saw a meme of Zay where it was like when Zay gets the ball, it was just this puppy dog just sprinting back and forth, because this guy, if you get him the ball, he will make moves and make guys miss. And there's not going to be a whole lot of guys back there. So if he can make two guys miss, hey, maybe Zay's first, super long touchdown of the season comes in this game. This would be the type of game where it would happen. But also Bateman, you can run routes. Take off the sleeves for one, like Derek did. I'm tired of watching you with baggy sleeves getting grabbed all over. Again, corners just grab his, even if they don't grab him, they have sticky gloves. Just touching his arm with them baggy ass sleeves on, it slows them down and it allows them to gain an advantage. Take off the sleeves, bruh. No more sleeves on this team. If you're worried about burn on the turf, put the strip of tape on your arm. But no more sleeves, because those guys should be able to get open against these cover guys. They just should. They're not great on the outside. They're just aided incredibly by the front seven and the aggressive nature of their defense. So please make sure you get open on the outside, and you better have a quick option for Lamar. What I don't want to see is that guys are gonna Lamar has nowhere to go with the football, and we see guys coming rushing right at him, because the guards are going to have a tough time, and Linderbaum's, I think, going to have a tough time. And so I think Rosengarten, is susceptible certainly to power. We've still seen he's still growing into an NFL body and still, working on his play strength. So that's what I kind of look at as like boom or bust in a lot of ways on offense. Either a really good day if they can handle the pass rush, and if they can create lanes and handle the run blitzes for Derrick Henry, I think they have an opportunity to have a big game offensively. If they can't, if Lamar's constantly looking for the rusher and has nowhere to go with the football, and guys aren't winning one-on-ones, man, it could be one of those tough games to watch that we've seen in the past here with the Ravens. So, and another thing on the offense, man, this is one of the louder stadiums you're going to be in. It's a loud stadium. And they're going to be hyped coming off a big division win on the road against a Lions team that was heavily favored to beat them. So, yeah, that crowd's going to be jacked up, pumped, ready to go. And yeah, it's like, how do we kind of handle that? How do we but again, 105 quarterback rating against this secondary. So like, block for Lamar and let him do what he does. I saw a presser for Flores, and it was funny. All I saw in the comments below it, after he gushed about Lamar Jackson, which everybody does, but he went on for about 3 minutes gushing about Lamar Jackson. Every comment was, yeah, we know you want to be the Ravens' next head coach, or yes, we want you to be the Ravens' next head coach. It was like boom, boom. But I saw almost all Ravens comments under the bottom of it, of either Ravens fans going, we know you want to be here, or they're going, we want you to be here. So yeah, Flores is a big fan of Lamar Jackson. It's pretty clear. But who isn't? How could you not be, unless you're just crazy? So yeah, on the offense, watch out for JJ. Got to watch him. I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson. Let me be clear, because there's the other JJ. McCarthy, who again, fourth start. Let's rattle him. Let's bother him. Let's annoy him. Let's confuse him. He will throw the ball to the wrong team if you do so, and he's very susceptible to the sack. If we can't sack J.J. McCarthy, oof, That's a tough. That's making it look real tough for the down the stretch and in the playoffs if we're lucky enough to get there. But yeah, man, yeah, what a fun game this is going to be. Battle of the Purples. Let's see which purple reigns supreme between these two. But I think that's for the matchup. Let's get into maybe the most fun part of the show here. Let's get into our. Oh, what do you got here? What are you pointing at? I don't know what you're pointing at. Also, you learn. DK will be also updating the winners from the past couple of competitions on social media. So if you guys are curious who won our fan portion of the over-under competition, make sure you check out our social medias, which we are very much so active on all Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So check that out if you want to see if you were the lucky fan winner. But now we have this week's competition.
To my on the bad fly, trying to let they cast stock, homie, let them know you here. All my ladies that be mad high, get me off like mad lie. Shawty, let me get this clear. Okay, Baltimore the backdrop, rep it like a mascot. I'ma let them know we here. All my ladies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you want to be a participant of our competition, make sure you wait till this live is over to submit your answers to our over-unders in the comment section below, or simply comment or message us on one of the social medias companies. I don't know, to send us a message to give us your answers, and we will announce the winner sometime after the game. Let's move on to our first of the over-unders. Number one, over-under. Start on the offensive side of things. Derrick Henry rushing yards, 95.5 is where DK sets the over-under. And look, this is a big part of it because, again, if the Ravens can clear lanes and Derrick Henry can be successful on the ground, I mean, it could be a long afternoon for the Vikings. But if not, the opposite will be true, and their aggressive run blitzing is kind of something we've seen affect the Ravens. So let's hope Pat Ricard's return can really make that true difference. But as far as the over-under here, I'm going to say over on this one. And again, I am nervous about their interior, their aggressive nature, but I do think the Ravens will stay committed to the run game. And I think Pat Ricard's is a bit of a difference maker. I mean, I think he is. And if we can get Derrick Henry moving, again, there's going to be opportunities for big plays. So I don't know if it's going to be always successful. I think we will see some negative runs. We will see some short runs, but I think we'll also see some long runs from Derrick Henry. And that's why I think he goes over 95.5. I see a 30-plus yard run this weekend on the horizon. But exactly like Surf City said, Henry busts one good run and he's over it. He's over it. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what we see. I think we see a big chunk run this year or this week. And I think that's why I say over 95.5. What do we got for the second one, DK? All right, number two, Vikings sacks. Because this is another one. It's about the trenches. And this is a huge one because they had 5 sacks last week and against Jared Goff. And man, the Ravens have got to protect Lamar Jackson, make sure he's comfortable, and make sure he has a quick out if they're going to be bringing noise. I mean, make sure you guys are turning back and looking for the pass. I'm saying that to the tight ends, to the running backs, and even the wideouts. You better have an outlet. You better have a hot receiver that you can get the ball to. So, man, this is a tough one. 2.5. Do they get 3 sacks? I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over on this one because they're so aggressive. They have so many tackles for loss. I don't know if I've seen a team with this many tackles. I don't know I don't even know how that's like where they rank, but I just saw so many looking at their stats. It was insane. So for that reason, I'm going to say over, but I hope I'm wrong about this one. I hope I am wrong, but I say over. What do you got for the next one? First of the defensive ones we have. Justin Jefferson receiving yards, 81.5. That is his season average. Now, that season average is including quite a few games with Carson Wentz at quarterback. And then the other games are a rookie J.J. McCarthy. So this is certainly not an indictment on Justin Jefferson and his talent. 81 yards seems kind of low for a guy I just called the best receiver in football. But quarterback play certainly plays a huge, huge role in how many receiving yards. I think he will get I'm going to say under. I'm going to say under because I think that Wiggins is up for the challenge. And I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be confused a ton by the Ravens defense. If you can't confuse this guy and get this quarterback on the ground, then, I mean, Zach Orr, what the heck are you doing? I mean, what the heck are you doing if you can't keep this guy kind of off kilter? You know that Justin Jefferson, I mean, look, they got good weapons around him, but you know he's the guy. He's the guy who gets by far the lead in their targets. You know it going into it. And so, yeah, they're going to get creative. They're going to get him the ball at the line. They're going to get him the ball at the, for first down attempts. And they might even go challenge you over the top, which I hope they do with Wiggins' speed. But I still think they bottle him up for, say, 75. I think comes up just shy of 81.5. Let's see what the next one is. Ravens sacks 2.5. You know what? In every other game, I would say under, but not in this game. In this game, I say over. I say we get 3 sacks, and I think Draymond gets his first one in purple. I also think we get one from KVN this week, and we get one from no, I'm just kidding. Not from Ajabo. No, not from Ajabo. I am hoping he's not even playing. But I do think KVN gets one, Draymond Jones, and then I think Travis Jones gets his hand on the quarterback. I think he gets a mitt on the quarterback and brings him down. So I'm going to – and look, I hope Mike Green gets there as well, but those are the 3 I'm predicting get sacks, and I say over for the first time. We've had sack predictions in a lot of over-unders. I've picked under in all of them. All of them. In fact, DK could have put 0.5 as the over-under in some of the games, and I still would have picked the under. That's how bad I think our edge rush has been. But in this game against this quarterback with Draymond here and kind of that, there's a lot of pressure on the Ravens to perform at that position because fans have been bashing them for their lack of aggression at the trade deadline. And so I think they kind of try and silence some of those critics by an aggressive game plan. And I think they will confuse him, cause JJ to hold the ball, and they'll get after the quarterback. Hamilton, I love that. Hamilton will get one. I love that. Yes, I could see that. I could see that. 5 this week says blitz backer. Okay. I love that. Let's hope you're right. All right, let's move on to our first tiebreaker in case we have a tie on the first 4 over-unders. This will be the tiebreaker. First one, over-under 49.5 points. I'm going to say 49.5. I'm going to say under. I think the Ravens win this game 27-17. And so because of that, I say it's under. But yeah, I think the Ravens will be slow out of the gate because of the crowd noise, because of the travel. Bit of a, I don't know if rust is the right word, but they are coming off of a mini bye. And again, it's a long, long way to go. So I think they start off a little slow, finish strong, 27-17, which is under the 49.5 total. Let's see here for this next one. Second tiebreaker is total yards closest to the pin for the Ravens. For this one, again, slow start. I expect the Ravens to get some short fields because of, again, a rookie quarterback. I think the Ravens maybe cause a turnover or 2, get to the quarterback, get him on the ground, again, causing short fields, which doesn't allow them huge yardage totals. And then I think the run game also kind of eats the clock and kind of chews into their opportunities. So I'm going to say, I still think they're going to do well. 355 is my prediction. 355 is my total yards prediction. Jackson 5 loading. I'm taking over on the total points, says James. Okay. All right. John J, 31-24. Okay. I'd love that. A win is a win. That's all I care about. So we'll take that. Yeah, that's all we do for the over-unders, right? Is that it? Yes, that is the last one. So 355. We'll certainly get DK and Jimmy's predictions and have them ready when it comes to our time for the scoring of this whole operation. But, man, this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. Couple purple teams going at it. I know the Ravens are wearing white top, purple bottom, I believe, is what I saw. I know it's the white tops going into this one. But, yeah, big game. Got to win. Got to keep the momentum going. You've got 2-game win streak here going. Let's make it 3 and then on to the next to make it 4. But I think that's it for us, for me today. I appreciate you guys joining me and keeping me company here as well as DK. But we will, of course, be back post-game live and ready to break down, recap, and review all the things that happened in the game this Sunday. Can't wait to do it. Have a good night. See you.